All right, folks, bundle up, grab your parka, and prepare to question every life choice that led you to Googling Antarctica cruise at 2 a.m. when you couldn't sleep the other day, because today we're going way off the beaten path, like the end of the earth. This is Travel Secrets with TV's Dave Galvan. Hi, I'm TV's Dave Galvan, and today's episode is one I've been dying to record. Cruise to Antarctica. Let's break this down, what it's really like to go to the coldest, most isolated, most mind-blowing, surreal cruise anyone can take without NASA clearance. Now, spoiler alert, it's cold, it's expensive, and from what I hear, it's totally worth it. Now, truth be told, I have not yet taken this cruise, but I have spent the last week and a half digging up information from people who have, getting advice from people who have. So let's get started. Let's get one thing straight. This is not your grandma's Caribbean cruise. You're not sipping Mai Tais on a pool deck with a steel drum band. You're more likely to be sipping hot cocoa while trying not to fall into the Southern Ocean. Cruises to Antarctica are expedition cruises. That means smaller ships, fewer passengers, and a whole lot of science vibes. Think less Las Vegas, more National Geographic. So most trips start in a city in Argentina. I can't pronounce it. I'll put it down on the screen below me. But it's the southernmost city in the world. You're going to board there. And yes, they are farther south than Australia. From that point on, it's just you, the ice, and a bunch of other humans who hopefully updated their life insurance policy. It's not that bad. So let's talk about the infamous Drake Passage, aka the watery hellscape between South America and Antarctica. It's 600 miles of open ocean that's either calm and smooth, they call it the Drake Lake, or a vomit-inducing nightmare of 30-foot waves that you go up and down with. They call that the Drake Shake. There is no in between. You take your chances, you pack your Dramamine, and you pray to Poseidon. But here's the thing, surviving the Drake feels like a rite of passage. It's a 2-day journey from Argentina to Antarctica that earns you the first iceberg sighting. You want to see penguins on icebergs? You're going to have to pay your dues on the poop deck. Arriving in Antarctica is like going to Mars, but much colder. The first time you see it, it feels fake. There's towering mountains of ice, glaciers so blue they look photoshopped, and silence so loud it's almost spiritual. And the penguins. Oh, the penguins. I want to go just to see the penguins because they are my favorite animal. Once you arrive, your days are built around Zodiac landings. These are little black inflatable boats that ferry you from the ship to the shore. And you're going to visit, depending on the cruise, you're going to visit research stations, penguin colonies, historic huts, and icebergs the size of your apartment. You don't dock. You land like you're storming the beach in a parka. What are you going to see? Okay, let's talk about wildlife. This isn't SeaWorld. You're going to see a lot of penguins. You're going to see Gentoo, chinstrap, and maybe emperor penguins, depending on the route you're going to be on. They're going to waddle, they're going to poop, they're going to completely ignore you, and somehow it's adorable. Here's the thing about penguins. Penguins don't have any natural land predators. Penguins will walk right by you without a care in the world. You're not legally allowed to touch them or pet them, but you can take as many pictures as you want, and they're just so cute. Seals. You're going to see seals. Leopard, elephant seals just chilling on ice like they own the place. Oh yeah, that's because they do. You're going to see humpback whales and orcas are going to patrol the waters. You'll see their spouts in the distance. Sometimes they'll come close. It's majestic and mildly terrifying. And a lot of birds. If you're a real bird nerd, get ready for all types of birds, including albatrosses. If not, just, nod politely when the naturalists get excited. Now, life on board an Antarctic cruise. This is not a party ship. There are no casinos, no belly flop contests, no sexy legs competitions. Instead, your onboard activities are going to include lectures by glaciologists and marine biologists, photography workshops, whiskey tastings because, morale, and watching the horizon like you're in a BBC documentary narrated by Morgan Freeman. Meals can be comforting and fancy. The vibe is cozy. You spend a lot of time staring out windows wondering why you waited so long to do this. So let's talk brass tack, because this trip ain't cheap. A typical Antarctica cruise starts at $7,000 per person, goes up to about 15 grand per person. That's economy, no hot tub. Luxury voyages are going to run $30,000 per person. Do they include Wi-Fi? Maybe, for $1,000 per megabyte. But here's the thing. Most cruises are going to include your parkas, your boots, your daily excursions, meals, lectures, champagne when you cross the Antarctic Circle. But what you really need is layers, and lots of them. Gloves, you need more layers. A camera with backup batteries because the cold can and will drain them. And a respect for Mother Nature because she will humble you here. So is it worth it? Look, I'm not going to lie to you. Cruising to Antarctica is a logistical hassle. It's cold, it's very expensive, it's very remote. It's not fun in the traditional sense, but it's also one of the most awe-inspiring things that any of us will ever do. You're going to stand on the deck in complete silence, watching an iceberg the size of your neighborhood just drift by. You're going to see penguins dive into the ocean like flying potatoes. You're going to taste air that has never been polluted or have ever been warm. You're going to feel tiny in the best possible way. And when someone back home says, "Oh, I just got back from Cabo," you're going to smile and drink your coffee and say, "Cute, I just crossed the Antarctic Circle." It's not an easy cruise to do. You have to go from wherever you're at in America all the way down to Argentina. Pay for that, of course. And then, of course, pay the $7,000 to $30,000 per person to take the cruise to Antarctica. But like I said, this is totally a bucket list trip. All right, here are your final travel secrets if you're thinking of booking an Antarctic cruise. Number 1, book early. These cruises sell out very fast, especially the smaller ships. November and March have fewer crowds and better deals. Skip the luxury hot tubs unless you're planning to bathe with penguins. Don't wait till you're old and rich. Go while your knees still work and you can climb in and out of the zodiacs without looking like a baby giraffe. Antarctica will change you, and you'll come home realizing the rest of the world is just slightly less cool. Literally and figuratively. And that's it for this frosty episode of Travel Secrets with TV's Dave Galvan. If you like the show, please hit share and share it with a friend who's got a bucket list longer than their patience. Next week, we'll be back with an all-new episode of Travel Secrets with TV's Dave Galvan. We'll see you then.